Zok the Heilige Gemara, Tzaddiches Amar Aleph. We just learned that when Rabbi from Mashiach comes, either things are all going to be very expensive or things are all going to be very cheap, depending on what Lashon and Rashi. Zok the Heilige Gemara. Amar Rab Chanina, Ein ben Dovid ba, Acha Yisbakish dag lechoyle, till you're looking for fish to serve to a sick person. And that's a concession because really you need to give meat to a sick person, and even fish you can't find. Below you won't be able to find it. Shenemar oz ashkia me'meyam. I'm going to gel the water where a fish can't survive. And I'm going to guide the rivers with oil. And then there'll be the Mashiach. Amar Rab Chama bar Chanina, Ein ben Dovid ba acha tichla malchus hazala mi Yisroel. Until Klal Yisrael has zero power, zero positions of any remote little bit of power. They won't even have the keys to the kitchen. Shenemar v'charata hazalzalim b'mizmoros. V'charas is v'charas hazalzalim b'mizmoros, because Baruch is going to cut even the small little levels of authority, the branches of Siv Basrei, and then it says later on in the pasuk, "Ve'esahi Yuval Shai Hashem Tzavakos." Klal Yisrael will be given as a gift to Hashem. Am Memushacham Umarit. Which nation? The nation that until now was pulled and torn and ripped from all sides. Then we're going to have the Gula. Amar Ziri Amar Abchanina Ein ben David ba Achi Yichalu Gasei Haruach Yisrael. Until there are no more Balei Gaiva in the Klal Yisrael. Shenemar ki oz osir mikirbecha alize gavoscha. So afterwards, v'isharti bekirbecha am oni v'dol v'chasu b'shem Hashem. Gewaltig. So keep the pasuk over here inside. This is Tzavanya Gimel Yud Beis. Gimel Yud Beis. Let's see if we have Gimel Yud Gimel here. I don't see it over here, but that pasuk is speaking about the Geula that's going to come when there's no more Gaiva. Gewaltig. Omar Rab Shimloi Mishum Rab Elazar Rab Shimon Ein ben David Bachi Yichul Kol Shoiftim, which are Vishoit from Yisrael, and this means that any dishonest Shoiftim and Shoitrin until they're completely removed. Shenemar Vashiva Yadai Alecha. I'll put my hand on you. But Etzroif Miloshin Sirf and Akivchan, like when you purify metal. Gebar Sigecha. Sigecha means the mixture in you, which means that Rashi, you have people who are not Erlich. Taruva Shabach. You have people that are not Erlich. Vashiva Shoiftecha, and I will remove your Shoiftim. Amar Ula, En Yerushalayim Niftis Ella B'Tzedakah. Yerushalayim won't be oiskalazed only with tzedakah. Shenemar Tzion b'mishpat tipadeh v'shaveh b'tzedakah. And of course, the Marsha asks, it doesn't say Tzion b'tzedakah tipadeh. It says v'shavoya b'tzedakah. Tzion b'mishpat. Dr. Marsha, you read the pasuk differently. Tzion b'mishpat tipadeh. When will Tzion be zoichata and emes mishpat to go back to the way things were with the Sanhedrin? That's v'shaveh b'tzedakah. That's when you have to. Amar Papa, batli yehiri, if balagaiva will be eliminated, batli amgushi, we will no longer suffer from amgushi. Rashi has two pshatim, either means goyim that do kishav that cause even problems, or goyim that curse, that machar from a god to make us have problems. Batli dayoni, if there's no more dayonim that are dishonest, batli gezerafti, which are goyisha authorities who beat us. Ibatli hiri bate amgushi, how do you know that? If kabor sigayich, vasira kol bedilayich. The same pasuk that we were referring to. The batli dayani, batli gezerfati, tichsiv heiser Hashem mishpatecha, then panei oivecha, then our enemies will be taken away. Amar b'yoichanan, mirisha dar shem ismayit v'hoilech. If you see a dog that's getting smaller and smaller, chakelai, now's the time to look for Mashiach. Shenemar ves am oni toishia. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, the Marisa Dosha Tsaris Rabbis Boisel of Kinnar. Tsaris are coming like a river. In other words, the flow does not stop. Chakelai, time to look for Mashiach. Shenemar Kiyave Kinnar Tsar, Ruach Hashem, and noises about, which means it'll destroy it and make it punch it with holes. The Samachle Uval Etziangar. From Rabbi Yochanan in Bein David Ba, Ela Bedor, either Kulei Zakai or Kulei Chai. How do we know this? Bedor Kulei Zakai, Dechsev V'Amich, Kulam Tzadikim, Loylam Yishur Oretz. Bedor Kulei Chayev, Dechsev Ayar, Ki Einish By Yishtoimim came Afia, there was no one in Klal Yisrael that could do any mitzvahs and give musar. And then Chsiv Lamani yes, Hashem, I'm going to do it for myself. Like we daven to Hashem and say Laman Chav. Now the question is, Memela, if this Kula is a Koyim, we understand why we're Zoich the Mashiach. But if it's Kula Mershoyim, why would we Zoich the Mashiach? So there's a couple of them Shatim. One shot is we're Shoigeg, because if there's no one that's tzaddikim, there's no one to be Techiachas, to be Machiachas. So we have no one to guide us. And the other shot is once you hit rock bottom, that's when you can look to go up. Amar Alexandri said, Rabbi Shmuel Levi had a following steer. It says, Be'ita, Mashiach will come in its designated time. I will hasten it. How do those two things work together? Zachu Achishana, for Zoiche B'tshuva, the Geula will be hastened. Lo Zachu, Be'ita will have to wait till the final time. Amar Alexandri, Rabbi Shmuel Levi, Rami the following contract. Siva Aru, Im Anoni Shemai Kvar Inish, also. I saw in the Anonim, the surah of a person came, referring to Mashiach coming in the clouds, Bizrizos, meaning Mashiach's coming on a donkey, moving slowly. So Zachu im Anoni Shemaya, Zachu onu Reichav alachamor. Amalesh from Malka Shmuel. For Malka wanted a Chepe Shmuel like Chayzik punch front at Klal Yisrael. Amrisi, you're telling us Mashiach al Chamer Osi. Why should he come on a donkey? Let me send you my finest stallion. Ishtalai Sushabarka, the Isli that I have. So on that, Shmuel answered, Amarle, mi islach barchi or gavni. Do you have one with multiple beautiful colors? Ke'il, that's what's needed. Although that wasn't true, he was just trying to push off Shmuel Malka. Rabbi Shimon Levi ashkechel Elio. He met Elio. Davakoya pischa de Mayrasa de Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai. He was by the Meir of Shimon ben Yochai. It's interesting how it's just mentioned like so. So Agavarcha, yeah, he met Elio. That's a huge thing to meet Elio. Where was it by the Meir of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai? There's a shayla if this is the Meir where Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai hid out, or if it was by Miron, where he's buried. Amalei, he asked the following question to Elio. Asina la amadasi, will I be zeicha to come to Adam Abba? Amalei, so Elio answered, if the Rebbeinu Shalom wants. Amar Rabbi Shimon Levi, Shnaimer easy. I saw Elio, I saw Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, but the coil, Shemar, he said the coil Gimel Shemati, but I heard three voices, meaning I heard Kavayachal, the voice of Hashem talking. Amar Lei, then I asked him, Amos Ashim Mashiach, when is Mashiach coming? Amar Lei, he told me, Zil, Shaile, Lididei. Go ask Mashiach when he's coming. Why are you asking me? Go ask Mashiach. Vehecha Yosef, where can I find Mashiach? Apischa, the Raimi, by the gate of the city. Umay Simne, there's a lot of people sitting there. How am I going to find him there? My Simne, Yosef Beinei Aniye Soiv Lechaloim. He's sitting amongst a whole group of people that are probably somewhat isolated and they're suffering from wounds like tsaras. Everybody, when they change their bandages, they take all the bandages off at once. They wash all their wounds and then redress them. He only did one at a time. Why? Maybe I will be needed. Maybe the time for Mashiach to come will be there, and I don't want to delay to have to put on all my bandages. Delay Akiv. I don't want to take any time. I want to be there right away. Also the Kamei. So he went to Mashiach, Amarlai, and he told Mashiach, Shalom Alecha Rabbi Imari. So Mashiach responded, Amarlai, Shalom Alecha Bar Levi. So he called him Rabbi Shimon Levi. Amarlai, he asked him, Emos Asimar, when's Mashiach coming? Amarlai, Hayom today. So also Lagabe Elio. So Rabbi Shimon Levi went back to Elio. Amarlai, my Amalach. Elio asked Rabbi Shimon Levi, what did Mashiach tell you? Amarlai, Shalom Alecha Bar Levi. That's how he greeted me. He mentioned my name, and he mentioned he wished me shalom, and he wished my father shalom. Amalai Eliyotam, this is a very good simon. Aftachacha lach ulavuch la'amodasi. That is a haftacha that you're going to go into Adam Haba. If Mashiach gives you shalom, it means you're going to go to Adam Haba. Amalai. So then Rabbi Shimon Levi told Eliyo, Shekuri Shakarbi. Mashiach lied to me. He said, I'm coming today. And he didn't come. Amalai Hachi Amalach. You need to understand what he meant when he said Ayoim. You know what he meant? He was referring to the apostle that says, if you do tshuva, even today I can come. They asked him, Rabbi ben Kisma, when does he come? I'm afraid to tell you, because when I tell you, then you can say, make us a nace to prove that you're right. Shema Tabak Shemimenu Ois. Amar they tell him, no, we're not going to ask you for a noise. Just tell us when is he coming. Ain't on the Mavak Shemim Ois. Amar lei, you know when Mashiach is coming? Lichisha Yipol Ashar Zev Yivna, the Yibel V'Yivna, the Yibel V'Ein Maspikin Livnoise Achik Ben Dovid Bo. There'll be this gateway of a city. Now it's a sea of Roimi, but it's not Rome in Italy because Rabbi Yosy ben Kisma was not there. So it must have been referring to a city of Roimi in Yisroel. This gate will collapse. We'll rebuild it. And it collapse again. We'll rebuild it a second time. And after it collapses a third time, before it has a chance to be rebuilt, that's when Mashiach will come. Didn't you tell me you're not going to ask for a noise? We want a noise anyway. If the source of the Yarden, which is the banyas, if that water turns to dam, that'll be a raya. Now, I just overheard the Rav Weisberg giving shir, and he asked, I don't know, what was his whole thing? If he didn't want to give a noise, why is he giving a noise? So Rav Weisberg said that for carrot, Rabbi Yosy ben Kisma didn't know if they would ask him for a noise, but he wanted to tell them that they should ask for a noise. So that's why he said that I would have told you you might ask me for a noise. So he tipped them off that they should ask for a noise because he wanted to give a noise to show that this is what's going to happen. B'shas Piti Rasai, when he died, Amar Lehen, he told them, I want you not to bury my body at a normal depth. Dig down way deeper and bury me way deeper than normal. Hamikal Yaroni. Why? Shekain. When Mashiach comes, before Mashiach comes, we're going to be overrun. Eretz Yisrael will be overrun by the Persians. And there'll be so many Persian troops there. She'ein kol dekel v'dekel shebebavel, she'ein sus shel parasir nikshab. There's not going to be a parking spot in all of Israel that you don't have a Persian military vehicle parked in. Every tree will be used to tie up one of the Persian horses. Every box in all of Eretz Yisrael is going to be recycled to be used as a trough to feed the animals. So I'm afraid that they're going to dig me up, take my box, and make my box into a trough. So if I'm buried very deep, they won't find me because they'll dig down the normal depth and they won't find me. Amarav, Ein ben Dovid ba achet espashet Malchus Harashah al Yisrael. Until the Malchus Harashah is going to spread over Klal Yisrael for Tisha Chadashim, for 9 months. Shenemar lechein yitnem ad eis yolda yoleda yolda. The time that a yoleda gives birth, which is 9 months, the yeser echav yeshuvon al bnei Yisrael. And they'll be on Bnei Yisrael for 9 months. For 9 months, that's when Mashiach will come. Amar Ula, Yosy, let Mashiach come. I don't want to see him. I think George Burns once said, I'm not afraid of dying, I just don't want to be there when it happens. Let Mashiach comes, but I don't want to see him. If Yosef Amar Fakert, I'd love to see any scholars that I can be zoicha to see. I'm gebenched, I want to see. Yosef, the Iski, the Eise Betula, the Kufisa, the Chamer. I wouldn't even mind if I had to sit in the shade of the dung of the donkey that Mashiach comes on. And there's any little connection I can have, I'm happy with. It's interesting that Rabbi Yosef is blind. Amalei Abaye L'Rabba. My time. Why don't you want to be there when Mashiach comes? Why did you say V'loi Chamne? Mechmine. Ilaim Mishum Chevel Mashiach. If you're trying to avoid the tsaris that are going to happen by Mashiach, you have them anyway. V'tanya Shalu Talmidav it's Rabbi Lazar. Ma Yasa Adam V'yinotzav Mechevel Mashiach. What should you do? Yasek B'toyer Uvegemilas Chasadim. That's how you avoid it. You, Rabbi Umar, HaToyer V'gemilas Chasadim. You have both. So what are you worried about? Amar Lei, no, I'm worried. Shema Yiger Machet. Kid Reb Yaakov or Idi Reb Yaakov Idi Rami. Ksiv Hina Yonachi Imcha Ushmarticha B'chol Sher Telech. Yaakov Avinu was promised by the Rosh Hashanah, you'll be protected. Uksiv Ayir Yaakov Moed VaYetzeloi. Why was he afraid? VaYimishyorei Shema Yiger Machet. Zok Rabbi, I'm also afraid. Kidatanya Ajav Am Hashem. You know where you see the poil that Chet caused a huge problem when we came into Eretz Yisrael the second time. After Golos Babel, after the 70 years. Because we say in the Shir every day, that's when we came in originally with Yeshua, with strength, with pomp. And that Javram Zukanisa is when we came in the second time. Now they're supposed to be the same. They're compared to each other. Zubi Yishnia. Emor Ma'ata Ru'ima Yisrael Lasis Lemneis Bevi Yishnia Kibi Rishona. The same glory with which we entered Eretz Yisrael the first time, we should have entered it the second time. But we didn't. V'chein Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Yaisi v'lo yechminei let Mashiach come, I don't want to see it. Amar Rish Lakish, my time, why? Ileni mishum dechsiv. Is it because you're afraid of the Chevel Mashiach? Because the pasuk says, Kasher Yonas ish mepit mepnei ari. Imagine it's like a cartoon story. A guy's running away from a lion that's chasing him, and who does he bump into? Upag hadoiv, he bumps into a bear. Now he's got to run away again. Ubabais, he finally gets home and he wants to relax for some chadiah like here, and he leans against the wall. And he gets hit by gets bitten by a snake. There's no respite. Wherever he goes, you're getting beaten up. But Lamaisa, we are suffering that. So you're anyway experiencing Chevel Mashiach. How is that? You go out to your fields, Upagavai Center. Then you meet a government agency who's measuring your field, and he's going to tell you that your borders are too big and you really don't have so much, and he's going to steal your land. That's like bumping into a line. Then you run the other way, Nichnas Le'ir, you run to the city, Pagavai, then you run to a tax collector. Oh, now the IRS is after me. Then finally gets home, Nicholas Levesai, and there he doesn't have any menucha, umatzabanav, unoisav, mutal barov. That's doime kamisha naschenach. So anyway, you're suffering from Chevel Mashiach. So why don't you want to see it? Because you don't want to see the pain that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to have. The chsiv sha'alu na uru. Fact the Navi, im yolad zachar, can a male give birth? No, of course not. So a male cannot have birth pains. So Madir Re'isi called Gever Yodav al Chalotzot. Why do I see every man that's holding on into his loins like he's giving birth? Kayaleda. And the Nepchu called Panim Liyarakai. And all faces are turning green. So Gemara asks, what is this referring to? Ma Re'isi called Gever. What do you mean? Call Gever Yodav al Chalotzot. Who's called Gever? Amar Rav Bar Yitzchak, Amar Rav Misha called Gvur Shalai. It's a Mashal Kaviyachal to their Rebbeinu Shalom, that their Rebbeinu Shalom is in pain when he's throwing out one nation out of Eretz Yisrael, even though he's bringing in Klal Yisrael. Umay v'nepchu al panim li'rakai, kal panim li'rakai. Amar Yirichin, it's Pamali Shamayla, which are the Malachim, Pamali Shamata, which are Yisrael. That pain of the transition. V'shasham HaKadosh Baruch Hu, halalu masa yadai, v'halalu masa yadai. Heicha abeid elu mipnei elu. It's very hard for the Rebbeinu Shalom to reject the goyim, throw them out of Eretz Yisrael to bring the Eden in. That's what he has to do, but it's very painful. That's what Rabbi Yochanan wanted to avoid. Omar Papa Hanid Amar Inchi, Roit v'nafal Torah. Let's say you have an ox and it has its trough that it eats from, and it dies. So now you let the horse use that trough. And if the ox comes back, it's going to be painful for you to push the horse away. Omar B'gidol Amarav Asidin Yisrael Da'achli Shnei Mashiach. When it comes to the times of Mashiach, there'll be plenty in abundance, and Klal Yisrael will be zoichet to that abundance. Amar Rabbi Yosef Pshita, who else is going to eat it? Chiluku Bilak achalu? Chiluku Bilak is like saying John and Jack, or it's a generic name, or like Moshe Pipik. Could be they were low-level dayanim, but they refer. Anytime the Gemara has such a comment to say, well, who else? Nobody? Some nobody? So it refers to Chiluku Bilak. Lafuke Midarbil. No, you know what the Rebbe we know what the Chiddush of a Gidl is. With Hill, who has a very sobering opinion. The Yomer Ein Mashiach Yisroel. This whole thing is a fantasy. Mashiach not coming. This is it. We're done. It's over. Shekvar Achlu b'Mechizkiah. We had all the nisim that we were supposed to have in Mechizkiah. Mashiach is not coming, and this is our end. That's a very depressing feeling. Amarav Ivri Alma Ela Dovid. The whole world was created just because of the Shirosh.
Whoa. That you're gonna let that go? What is this?
That's what Hillel said.
So what's the continuation? I mean, this sounds like what the Eden faced at the time of when there was Achashverosh, right? After 900 years, it's over, right? Is that shot?
That's what Hillel said. Hillel said it was Yimei Achav, and we lost it. Ein Mashiach Yisrael. Why Shechizkiah Hay Mashiach? He was Mashiach. Valav Nemru Kol Nabuy. That's Mizkeren Beshel. The Amad Barab Hashem. So at the end of the day, we are in the Yom Mashiach already. This is it. This is the great Yom Mashiach that we've all been waiting for.
Wow. I think Mashiach's going to come and grab everybody, even the people who didn't believe and thought didn't come. They're going to grab them too.
Are you telling me everybody's going to be invited to the Gula?
Yeah, it's only a question where you're sitting. That's all. if you're nominated. Of course, everyone's going
It
to.
says,
I know
I'll tell
later
you,
on when
Pesach
it
and
goes
Aleph,
not Zeichel.
tomorrow the Gemara is going to slug uphill, so don't worry, we'll be okay.
Okay, all right.
Zog the Gemara weiter. Amarav, loy ivri alma el Dovid, ushmul amar us for Moshe, Rabbi Yochanan amar lo Mashiach. Ma Shemoy, what is the name of Mashiach? So we're going to see everybody wanted Mashiach to have his name. The very Rab Shila amar it was Shila Shemoy. Shenemar at Kiyavay Shila. The very Rab Yamne amar Yinoin Shemoy. Shenemar Yehi Shemoy la'olam l'fnei Shemes Yinoin Shemoy. The very Rab Chanina amar Chanina Shemoy. Shenemar Shlo etin l'chem Chanina. The Yesh amar Menachem ben Chizkiya Shemoy. Shenemar Yirachak Mimenu Menachem Eshav Nafshi. I'm not sure where the Ben Chizkiya comes from. Rabban Amri Kivsera Devei Rabbi Shemai. The white one of Rabbi is his name because he'll have Nagoyim. Shenemar Achein Chol Yenu Hunas. Look at that. He's carrying all of our sicknesses. Umachayveinu Savalim, and he's being soiled from our machayves. So we see that he looks terrible. And we look at him like he's not loved by the Rebbeinu Shalom because look how he's being punished. We don't chap he's actually carrying our affairs. Amr Rab Nachman, Imin Chayahu, if Mashiach is from one of the people who are living today, it will be somebody like me. His greatness will be like a big moshel. And Rab Nachman was chastan de Nesiya. He was a very powerful, prestigious man. That's the type of person that it would be if it's from our door. Rav said, someone from our generation, it will be Rabbeinu HaKadosh, who suffered terribly, even though he was a very holy Yid. And Imin Masyu, and if it's from someone who's not alive, it would be Kagoyin Daniel Ishchamudos, it would be someone like Daniel Ishchamudos, who had terrible Yisurim in his life and Saris, yet, right, like Rashi was thrown into lines then, yet he was still a big Oived Hashem. Amar Bidom Marav, Azar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Lahamid, Lahem, Dovid Acher. There's going to be another Dovid. You hear, Akiva? Hashem's going to make another Dovid to be our King Mashiach. Shenemar, the Ivdus Hashem Elakeyem, Ves David Malcolm Asher Okim, future tense, Lahem. Heikim Lenemer, it doesn't say the David that I was already established. Elo Okim, I will in the future. So you see there'll be another David. You understand, Akiva, what's really going on over here? Who the new David?
There's this parallel universe that's being created. It's just for all the people who think that they can come up with a theory of how it's going to happen. The Gemara is saying, I thought of you, and I thought of this, and I thought of that. There is nothing new.
I hear it. You're saying good. David Avdi will have a role. Going Keser, Ulpalgi Keser. The new David will be the king, and the old David will be the past chair. Doris Rabsham Loi. My Dechsiv. Woe is to the people that are looking towards Mashiach. Why do you need it? It's dark for a chicken and a bat who cannot see, who's blind. They were looking forward to light. Me, I look forward to light because I can see. Why do you need light? So to the Goyim, why do you need Mashiach? Why are you looking forward to Mashiach? You're going to get wiped out. Mashiach is good for us. And this explains a conversation that the Min had with Rabbi Vo. And he asked, when is Mashiach coming? So Rabbi Vo said, what is it relevant to you? When you guys all die. When you get a dose of darkness. You're cursing me? No, the Pasuk says so. When the darkness covers the land, and the darkness will cover all the nations. We should be carved to the Geula. Okay, I'm going to stop here. We'll shut the recording off.
What happened to must I cost him? That's brachis? Where is that? I'm waiting for it.
I don't know who that is.
Yes.